you. Um, I had to wait just a smidgen for the guys that were, they trim the hedges. And I was just talking to Olga a second ago. I was like, do they do this every day? It seems like there's always a motor going right outside my window every time I try to go live with a video. I'm like, do they, why do they have to trim the hedges? There they go. Do you hear him? Oh, he's outside my window. What happens if I just stare at him? Anyway, okay, so he's probably going to do the one right up against this window here. God bless it. All right. So what we're talking about today is Home Business 101. What are good investments to say yes to? And then what are the ones to say no thanks to? Okay. This is an important video to watch as we make decisions. We run, even though it's a bigger business, we run, hey, Heather, I see you. Even though it's a bigger business, we still run it from home. It's still a home-based business, right? So it doesn't matter if you're making millions every month or $50 a month. You've got a home-based business, and they run the same. They scale out, yes, but they run essentially the same. And in HBR, what I'm going to be teaching you guys is how to be able to scale it out, right? So you can actually get up to the really big numbers per month without losing that feel of a home-based business. Because when you work with me and when you're in any of my programs, it's like we're sitting together. I mean, those of you that are in my stuff, does it feel, don't make me say it, do you believe it? Does it feel like we're just sitting in a living room together? Like that's the kind of like vibe, I guess, that it is, because that's what it is. Just because you scale to bigger numbers doesn't mean that you lose yourself in the process. Not that some people haven't, but you don't have to, right? So I think the first thing to understand, hey, good morning. Hi, Melanie. And hello, Michelle. Love HBR. Oh, I love it. We're chatting like friends, but it's good stuff. Heck yeah. And if you're like, Martha, were you wearing that shirt yesterday? I was. Here's what happens is I pick a hoodie and I wear it forever and ever, amen. And it is cold here right now. And Mike this morning was like, should we break down and turn the heat on? And I'm like, no, throw more layers on. We're not gonna put the heat on. So anyway, it's cold in here. And so yeah, this is the sweatshirt I wore yesterday. I promise it is not dirty. Michelle, yes, personal connections. Martha is never arm's distance away. Never, probably never not. You're authentic and actively involved. Aw, shucks. Thank you, lady. So the very first thing, whenever you're looking at what you're going to invest in, so far as education, resources, things like that are concerned. Okay, that's the specific topic that I'm talking about today. There's different things that you can invest in, but whenever you're starting out, especially, a lot of it's going to be education, mentorship, resources, that sort of thing to get yourself built, right? And then as you start building, you'll invest in scaling out teams and having VAs and that sort of thing. And, and people to help you do the things that you're doing here. But that's another talk for another day. And we absolutely are going into that in HBR in the 12-week live coaching walkthrough. Oh, I'm so excited for that. I cannot wait for January to show up, and I don't want to bypass Christmas. Like, I'm excited for that, but I cannot wait for January 1st, because even people that were in HBR before are about to be like, whoa, this don't even look like HBR anymore, because it don't. Because there's so much done for you that it's like not even the same. Anyway, so the first thing that you need to think about whenever you're deciding, do I invest or do I say no thanks? What you're looking to invest in, whatever it is, right? So if it's education, if it's resources, whatever, the person presenting, the person representing, the person that is actually sort of the mentor, like in the mentor role, are they where you want to be, not just that. Most of the time people stop with that. Don't listen to somebody unless they're where you want to be. Are they where you want to be in the way that you want to be there? They could be where you want to be. They could have the money or say that they have the money that, that you want to have and blah, blah, blah. Maybe even the impact that you want to have. But did they get there in a way that you're willing to get there? So a lot of times you'll see this in, sometimes it's in network marketing. Most of the time you see it in network marketing actually, where people have gotten to maybe a really big, title, whatever it's called, right? So they'll get to that, but the way that they got there was by messaging hundreds of people a day, like a "Hey girl, hey, want to join my team" message, or whatever. And you're like, okay, that's cool that you're there, but I wouldn't do that to go there. Well, you need to not invest your time or your money or whatever in that person then, because that person's going to show you how to do what they did. Okay. And that's not right or wrong, but if that's not a way that you want to be somewhere, don't invest in that, because all they can show you is what they have done. All they can show you is what they have done. Okay. So, very first thing, are they where you want to be in the way you want to be there, right? So the way that I have built my own things, right? Many income streams, beyond 7 now. Many income streams. The way that I have built my stuff is I build my stuff by loving you. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. There's no sort of grandiose strategy of well, I could sell them this and I could sell them that. No, it's I love you into this space, and then I love you into this space, and then I love you into this space. And I'm always listening to you. And I'm like, if this isn't working, let me make it better. If this isn't working, let me make it better. When we look at HBR starting again in January, I looked at HBR that I've had for 3.5 years now. And I'm like, how do we make it better? How do we make it faster for people to get successful? And how do we make it easier? Because again, like I said the other day, I could say, well, you've got this course, now do it. If you do it, it's going to work and da, 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 da. Right. Okay, well, that is true. However, if I want you to be successful faster and easier, the onus is on me to find a way to make it faster and easier for you. It's not that I have to bully you into doing it faster or making it easier on yourself. That's not how it works. And so that leads me into the second part, is the mentor or the person that you're looking to get education from, right? The resources, the education from, is the mentor focused on themselves and what they get out of things? Or is the mentor focused on you and what you get out of things? I spent $150,000. It must have been 2 years ago now. Around about 2 years ago now. And I spent $150,000 on something that I thought was going to do really well, and I thought it was going to be super helpful. I would not have spent it if I didn't think it was going to be helpful. However, I didn't follow my own advice, or this advice actually came from that goof up, right? A lot of times, sometimes the reason we go through things is to be able to help other people not go through those things, right? And so this is case in point. So I spent 150 grand, thought it was going to be helpful. What I learned in the long run is that it was a paid for lead magnet, which was so gross, and I was so upset after the fact. It was a paid for first step to something else, which I'm okay with a paid for lead magnet if it's super, super low cost. But for 150 grand, that should not be a lead magnet. And so what I discovered in that moment, as Mike and I were talking about it, and I was like, what just happened? What I discovered is that I didn't look at the mentor and say, are they out for themselves, or are they passionately involved in my success? Because if I would have answered that question for myself, I would have been like, they're out for themselves. Of course they are. Because you look at them and I think they even say it. I think they even say it. And so it was sort of like a shame on me situation at that point. Did I ask for anything? No, it was a lesson learned. It was a $150,000 lesson learned. Yay. Right? Yay. So what I'm saying, guys, and that's a home-based business, it's still a home-based business move, right? Because my home is still, I work from home. It was a home-based business move. And so far the things are, is the mentor or the representative where you want to be in the way that you want to be there? And are they focused on themselves and their success? Do they spout off about how amazing they are? Or are they focused on you passionately? Are they continuously in the trenches with you? There are some people, like whenever I go on podcasts or when I go speak at events or whatever, and they find out how, how successful we are. Wow, whatever. They're like, why haven't I heard? I literally hear this from people. Why haven't I heard of you before? You haven't heard of me before because you're not my people. Like, this is what other speakers say to me, because speakers come in and they're like a big deal. Like, they'll think they're a big deal, whatever. Not all speakers, but some. Not even the majority, if we're honest, but some folks. They'll just come in, well, why haven't I heard of you? Because you're not my people. My people know me because I'm with them every day, right? Because I'm in the trenches with them, because I'm making sure that if they're not successful, we're figuring out ways to get them there. I'm not focused on you, bro. I'm focused on my people. So no, you don't know me, and I don't need you to know me. I don't even give a rip that you don't. You know what I'm saying? This is the kind of thing you need to look for in mentors, guys. People that are passionately focused on your success. So if you're going to pay for something, you know that that person is on your side and they are in the trenches with you. You're not a number. You're not a receipt number to them. You're one of their friends. You're one of their family. You're somebody that they care a lot about. And most importantly, care about your success. Something that I mentioned in the video the other day is that I don't want you guys in my stuff. I don't want you guys to be around forever in my stuff. I don't want you on every single call into infinity and beyond, right? I want you to get what you need to go out into the world, to do your thing, and I want you to come back and ask questions when you have them, because I'm here and I know what you're going through. I know what the trajectory looks like. I know where the boulders are. I know the different growing pains you're going to go through. And so when you hit those and you're like, what would Martha do? I want you to jump back and I want you to get on a momentum call and I want you to be like, Martha, I'm going through this right now. What is the thing I should do? And I'll be like, girl, this is what you do, because this is what I did. And here's how it worked, right? And then you go and you keep going and you keep going. And then you come back when you have another question. That's what I want for you. I don't want for you to be a perpetual student. I don't want for you to need me all the time. And so it's very bittersweet as a mentor and an educator. I'm going to be honest. And some of you teachers understand this probably more than anybody. It's very bittersweet as a mentor and an educator to see you guys as little babies come in and you get your stuff done. And then you go out and you do things. And it's kind of like, I don't get to see him as much. And so for me, it's a little sad that I don't get to see you as much, but you better believe I'm peeping. You better believe I'm creeping in the social media and I'm watching you do your thing. And so when you come back, I know where you are. And then I can help you move forward more. And whenever whenever you come back, you will ask questions and I'll help you out. But I want for us to be peers and to be friends. I don't want for you to always be in a position of needing, like, and getting paralyzed and like, I'm stuck. I can't move forward without you and I can't move forward without you. That's not true. I teach you everything so you can go out and do the things. That's what I want for you, right? And so when you're looking for a mentor, make sure they care about you that much. And so for the new version of HBR that we're, kind of launching right now, it's HBR as it was, right? But then we're adding on custom parts of it. So the parts that people used to get stuck in, which are bat signal, which is like, who is my person and what am I doing for them? That's the part that people would get stuck in. Because like I said before, in a world of infinite potential, those of us that are visionaries, which a lot of us are, those of us that are visionaries are like, well, I could see that and I could see me doing that and I could see me doing that. And what ends up happening is straight paralysis. You sit doing nothing while waiting for the right thing to sort of bubble up, but it never does. You just keep sitting there, and then it keeps getting more and more, almost like melancholy, because you're not living in your purpose. You're living in sort of stagnation and the waiting, right? Instead of going and serving your people. And so what we've done is we've created these custom reports, right? That tell you, based on your answers to a survey, tells you who your person is and what they want from you, not what you decide they need, which is 90% of the time wrong. That's how you create an entire course and don't sell it. That's how you create entire coaching programs and never sell it, because you thought it's what they wanted. What we figure out is what they're actually wanting. And then you just make it. You just make it. Because it's what your people want, right? And then we give you a year of content that's going to help you be able to get your message out. And then the calls to action to be able to bring them back in so you can help them out more. You guys, that's HBR has had an overhaul, and I almost feel like it shouldn't even have the name HBR anymore, because it's so much different than what it used to be, right? So when you're deciding, am I going to invest in something or should I say no thanks? The things you need to think about again is the person, the mentor, where I want to be in the way that I want to be there. Okay, if that checks, great. Do they actually care about me? And are they going to be in the trenches with me? Are they going to be here or are they going to leave? Right? I'm here. My husband and I have gone over it, and I'm like, Mike, this is what it's going to require of me to be able to do this for them. And we've had these conversations, and Mike and I are in absolute agreement. Mike is my support. And so he makes sure everything else is running so I can serve you guys. And that's how this family works. Excuse me, my nose is runny. That's how this family works. And so that's the other thing that you look for. And then the last thing, and I think it might be the most important thing, especially when you're spending money, right? The last thing is, when you look at the money that you're spending, do you see how you would be able to make that back, right? Because an investment means that you're going to make that money back, right? So for the 150K, I did look at it that way. I looked at it from a numbers perspective, and I was like, okay, if this does what it's supposed to do, I should be able to make this back, and so it's not going to be a big deal, which is why I spent it. But what I didn't take into account is that mentor didn't give a rip about me. If that mentor doesn't give a rip about me, that return probably really isn't there. It was probably all marketing. And that return actually isn't there. And so that's what I learned in that case. And so when you're looking at the price tag on something, like the stuff that I sell isn't even that expensive. I mean, when we look at 150K, it's not that expensive, right? When we look at a business in a box, really, I hate to bring it down into such a weird metaphor of business in a box because people have made that weird for years. Um, but really, I mean, you can go from having no idea at all what you want to do, come into this new thing that I created, and you'll have it all. You could even take it, you could take the documents that I send you, your business plan and everything. You could take that to the bank and get a loan if you wanted to. You don't have to. But they would look at those as loan pay. That would be enough as a business plan. They'd be like, oh, I see how this monetizes. Okay. Not difficult. And so whenever you see how you would be able to monetize, how you would be able to make the money back, then it's a lot easier to make the investment. The people that are jumping in to the bundle that I have, that actually the discount, the super big Cyber Monday discount is done today. Okay, actually at 10 a.m. this morning. I'll let it keep going for a few more hours because I see people still messaging me right now. But that finishes up today. So if you are wanting in on that, the link or the call to action is in the description of this video. So basically you just message my business page the word bundle. You go through a little conversation at the beginning, and then you get the details of the program, and then we can talk after the details of the program. Answer any questions that you guys have. But when you see all of the things that you're going to do, when you see that I'm in the trenches with you, when you see that I will not let you fail, and I am making sure you know exactly who your person is, exactly what you're going to be offering to them, how you are going to organically get their buy-in and be able to create an audience that then will build out these different income streams in service to them without being salesy, without being weird. When you see all of that, you see that there isn't a way to fail. There isn't a way to fail. You guys, I have cried about this over voice messenger with Danelle, and a lot of you guys know her. She's like one of my best friends. She's my COO. She's been like my road girl like for a long time. And when I first brought this to her, I was bawling. I was like, this is it. They can't fail. They cannot fail. They can't get their mind stuck even because there's no places to get your mind stuck. There's no place. And even in the filling out of the form, we have very meticulously set up how you guys, like the process of filling out the form that I use to create the reports. We've meticulously done that, so you can't even get paralyzed and scared in that process. We literally have one of our mentors get on a call with you and walk you through filling out the form so you don't feel like you did it wrong. I thought of every step in the process, and I'm like, how do I keep them from getting stuck? And that is how I've done everything. I think it is highly likely you guys will have a return on what you invested within the 12 weeks of the program, not to mention everything that's going to happen afterward. And then you have the program forever and ever, amen. You can come back through live coaching whenever you want. You have your 60-page documentation of who your person is, what they want from you, the content, the year of content that, quite frankly, you just use over and over and over again. You don't need any other content aside from that. People don't remember those things. And also, your perspective changes every year. So you'll have something new to add to it. Trust that. That's true. All of that stuff is now just with you. You'll get daily emails, right? On like what to post where in social media, what to write as your blog that day, what to do as your YouTube video, what to put in your group if you have a group. All of that stuff, you don't need to think about anything. There's literally no paralysis points. And so when you decide, do I want to spend this money? Am I okay with this risk of spending this money? Yeah, there's a slight risk because you're taking money out of your account and it's not back yet. That's a risk. but the likelihood of it coming back could not be any better in life. And so now the question is, what happens if you don't do it? Right? What happens if you knew this, you know this, it's available to you, it's shown up in front of you, right? You've been made aware this thing exists. You choose not to do it, and so you keep going trying to, buy courses that help and whatever. Courses for business building no longer work because we as people can no longer do them. We don't have the attention span. We don't have the support that we need. We need more than that. Which is why this has been created the way that it's been created. It's been created for exactly what you need. Is the money that you're spending on things going to see a return? Or are you going to buy a bunch of cheap courses and not take them? Or are you going to round up a bunch of freebies, which I don't blame you, whatever. I get a bunch of freebies too. You're going to round up a bunch of freebies and be like, I'll make them work. I'm smart. I'll patchwork them together. You might be able to do it, but how long is it going to take you? And what are you missing out on in the meantime? How much frustration is that? How much time away from your family is that? You're required, needed, and being called right now. I'm sitting in front of you with the easiest way to do it. And really now it's just up to you. I love you guys. I'm popping out of here. I need another coffee. Adios.